Hello and welcome to How to Find Traditional Sources. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. How do I find traditional sources? From the library homepage, you go over here to the right-hand side of the page to All Guides. And we scroll down to Traditional Sources. And this is the Traditional Sources landing page. So traditional sources at Endeavour are historical texts of reputable use that are published in the traditional format, usually print, and are more than 75 years old. So I'm just scrolling down now to the supporting resources area. And supporting resources provide background information, definitions, scientific terms, and botanic names of the plants that we're searching for. So there are two supporting resources. Credo is an online library and it contains reference materials, including encyclopedias and dictionaries. So I'm going to open Credo and I'm going to type in the plant that I'm searching for, which is ginger. And here are all the references to ginger. So if I click into ginger, I can see all the information. It lets me know its botanic name. It gives me a bit of background on my plant. If I wanted to use the information from this plant, then I click on the Cite button here. Make sure it's selected APA, and it gives me the basis of my reference. So now I'm going to show you the other database to use, which is Natural Medicines. So Natural Medicines is an authoritative database containing information on dietary supplements, herbal medicines, complementary and integrative therapies. So when I'm searching in Natural Medicines, I go here, I type in ginger. And I want ginger, the professional monograph. And so this is ginger. We have our scientific name, the family that it belongs to. It has a caution here letting us know not to use plants with these names because they are not our ginger. It also has, which can be useful, common names. So if you're searching for ginger and you're not having any luck using ginger or using Zingiber officinale, its botanic name, then it may be worth searching with some of these other terms. I am going to go to effectiveness. So effectiveness lets you know what research is being done. And it gives you an idea of the different things that people are using or have used ginger for. So I am going to search for ginger, and I'm going to search for ginger and treating coughs and colds. So I'm going to close out of those two pages. I'm scrolling back up here, and The tabs along here are different ebook or database collections. So I'm going to start in Western Herbal Medicine. So the Western Herbal Medicine collection contains origin texts with importance to modern herbal medicine practice. So all the resources here will be, all of the ebooks here will be over 75 years old, and they will all help you with this assignment. So I'm going to start on Henriette's Herbal homepage. So this is actually a database, and it has both modern and traditional resources on it. So when searching on Henriette's Herbal, the little search bar is up here on the top right of the page. So I can search using ginger, and you will see here it has King's 1898. So this is a book that was written in 1898. So I know it's a traditional source. The next source underneath is a modern resource. So when you're looking at the resources, just have a look and check the dates. So I'm going to have a look in the first book, and I can see here that it's the right plant because it's also got the botanic name of the plant. So that's a good way just to double check. And it gives me a lot of information on the plant. And what I want is to see that the action and the medical uses are for colds. And I want to see then if any of the preparations are maybe going to be useful for that as well. So I can tell that the information has come from King's American Dispensatory. So I'm going back now to the Western Herbal page, and I am just having a look here on this carousel, and I can see that the King's Dispensatory is also here as a book in its own right because it's a very popular book. So if I go now to the reference list, and I scroll down, I can see here the reference for this book. So I can just copy this reference, and that's one less reference I have to worry about when I'm creating my reference list. So all the books here in the carousel and all the books listed here are in this reference list. So it's nice and easy. It's taken out a bit of stress for you when you're referencing your assignment. I'm now going to show you a modern herbal because this is a book that has a slightly different layout. So we go here, we select a modern herbal. The plant index is here, and I want G for ginger, and there is ginger. So it's mentioned ginger twice, but I think I just want normal ginger. So I'm going to have a look, and yes, I do. There is its botanic name there. And so then I can scroll down here to see if it if one of the conditions it treats is a cold, and it is. So I would be able to use this in my assignment as well. I'm now going to take you to one of the other books on our list, to the London Dispensatory. So this book sits on the Internet Archive, and the reason it can be on here is because it's over 75 years old and it's out of copyright. So when you're searching on the Internet Archive books, you go here to the little magnifying glass on the left, and I can type in ginger. And here are all the times that ginger was mentioned. And then I would just read the little excerpts here to see if any of them treated treated a cold. And if it did, then I would be able to use this book as well. And because it's here in the carousel, I know that the book is here in the reference list. So the final book I'm going to look at is here, and it's here in this list of very reputable books. And I'm going to look at the Family Botanic. So the Family Botanic is a PDF. So use the Control F function, and here it is. Here is Ginger. And you can just scroll down and find all 8 times it was mentioned. And here it is. I would be able to use this because it was being used as a cough syrup. So that is the Western Herbal page. The next page I'm going to take you to is Eastern Medicine. So the Eastern Medicine page has 2 components. It has the Ayurveda collection and the Chinese medicine collection. So I'm going to start with the Ayurveda collection, which is made up of origin texts with importance to contemporary Ayurvedic practice. So I'm going to show you the Materia Medica of Ayurveda. So this is another Internet Archive book. So I use the little magnifying glass and I type in ginger. And here are all the times that ginger is mentioned, and then I can read the little excerpts and see if it mentions my condition or not. So the Materia Medica of Ayurveda, I would find its reference here in the Ayurveda reference list. And here it is, the second book on the list. So now I'm going to show you the Chinese medicine collection. So this collection is a representation of the seminal and origin texts with importance to contemporary Chinese medicine. So we have an eBook collection. A lot of the books in the eBook collection are also available as print books. And underneath is a collection of books that are only available as print. So I'm going to show you one of the print books. So this is the print book. And these are the libraries that it's available in. The call number is what you use to find it on the shelves. It's a 2-week loan. And if the book was borrowed out, you would see here that it was checked out. But currently, all 4 copies of the book are available to be borrowed. Now I'm going to show you one of the Chinese medicine ebooks. So the Divine Farmers Materia Medica is available through one of our library subscription databases. So this is why it looks like this. And if we click on the full PDF text, it has the book here in the center, but what I'm interested in is search within. So I'm going to type in ginger. And here are all the times ginger was mentioned. And I can scroll down and see here on page 50 that they use ginger to treat coughs and colds. So this would be a book that I would use in my assignment. And if I go back to the Eastern Medicine page and scroll up here to the reference list, You can find the Divine Farmers Material Medica here. And that is my reference all done. So that saved me a little bit of work. So in our other tabs, the layout is similar. So we have all the books on a carousel, and then I have the naturopathy reference list. The same with the ancient cultures page, and the same with the homeopathy collection. That books are on the carousel, and then we have the corresponding reference list. So the last collection is the archive collection. So the archive collection is a group of websites that host open access content, which is passed out of copyright. So Henriette's Herbal also sits here. I am going to show you the Medical Heritage Library. And then from this page here, we go up the top here to search our collections. And then explore MHLH collection on IA. So it's taking us to the Internet Archive, but it's taking us to the Medical Heritage Libraries collection on this page. So I'm going to type in ginger, and underneath the search box, I'm going to select search text contents. And this way it'll only bring up books. So here are all the books that mention ginger. I'm just going to click on one of the books in the collection, the British Pharmaceutical Codex. And these are all the times that ginger is mentioned within the textbook, and you can also see it along the bottom of the screen here. So I would just scroll down until I find ginger and it treating coughs and colds. So if you've got a book from the Internet Archive through the MLA, it may not be in any of the reference lists that I've already created a reference for. So if that's the case, you scroll down here and all the information you need is here. So it's got the authors here. And then it has the date the book was published. Then you've got the title of the book. I would remove electronic resource because we don't need that in the title, and it's not officially part of the title of the book. And then I want the publisher, and I only want the Pharmaceutical Society of Great Britain. I do not want where it was published. And then I want the URL for my book. And that's made a reference. And if I'm not sure if I've done it correctly, I can just go back and you can check in one of the reference lists to make sure that you are doing it correctly. So I'm going to go back. And we're going to do the same search, but with the botanical name. So I am popping up once again in the double quotation marks so that it will search for the two words together. Otherwise, I'm going to get a search where maybe there's books that only mention officinale, or maybe books that only mention zingiber, but I want them to be searched together. So here it is. I am going to have a look at this one here because I think it looks interesting, and sometimes that's the way to do it. So here are all the times the herb was mentioned. And down below is all the details of the book, the author, the date it was published, the name of the book, the publisher. I want Lippincott, I don't want Philadelphia, and the URL. And that is how I create my reference. So now that we've had a search through all the different pages on the traditional sources page, I'm going to take you back to the home page. And if you need further assistance, you can get it through the library FAQs, which are the most frequently asked questions about using the library and information resources. Questions about referencing, contacting the library are all found here in the library FAQs. We also have video tutorials, which are a wonderful collection of the library videos that the library team have put together. How to search for eBooks, how to search online databases, how to reference. We have videos for all of these here. And the final really useful tab is the consultations tab. So this is the consultations page that you will see. You can book by date. You can book by the time that suits you. You can book by the staff member, or you can book by library. So if I'm coming into the Melbourne Library, I can book a consultation on campus. If you book with the virtual librarian, that is solely online and will be done by Zoom. The other way to get help is here in the bottom right, and this is the library chat. So you can hop on here with a referencing research question, just a general library question, and they'll be answered by a librarian. And the chat is manned between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And if there is nobody available, you can make a ticket, or you'll be diverted to the library FAQs, or as they call it, the knowledge base, to see if we can help you there. So thank you for joining me today, and good luck with your studies.